Everybody, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Tammy Talks here. Let's get into Ready to Love Season 5, Episode 14, The Reunion Part 2. For those of you that are brand new to my channel, I do breakdowns of various TV shows, both scripted and reality, interjecting my own thoughts, opinions, and theories into each and every recap. So, if you enjoy that type of content, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video if you enjoyed it, and hop into the comment section, y'all. Let's talk about why Joy was like showing her ass this episode. So, the episode picks back up where the first part of the reunion left off, where Carmen, Carmen, Precious, and Laverne, along with Ace, are having this conversation about who said what to do who to block who, whatever the case. So Sabrina said that Carmen called her and explained that there was a block in place. Sabrina told her that Laverne has always been in her bottom because they just don't connect on that level, so she didn't need to participate in anything. Carmen then said that Precious called her at 9 o'clock in the morning. Precious says that's a lie. I kind of feel like pull up some phone receipts, some phone records. This entire conversation was stupid though. Ace said that when she talked to Precious, it was never from a malicious place. Laverne was Ace's top, so it was mainly kind of a heads up on your main dude might be leaving. Ace then took that information, told Laverne that because she wanted to be upfront and honest about that, just to kind of let him know. Precious told her that Carmen was trying to break up the couples. I believe it. I can't explain why, but I believe it. Carmen seems like a very vindictive person. Don't trust nobody that wears color contacts. And Carmen just seems like the type of person that would do some like grimy stuff like that. Tommy said they're all playing high school games, and I agree. Y'all were calling Wiley too young, but here y'all are doing a bunch of like high school childish games. So then we talk Demetrius. So they showed a package about how all the women thought Demetrius was so fine and attractive and how he had big dick energy. Demetrius said that he knows he's a better dressed man than Tommy. He has over 200 suits. So they have a little conversation about that. Demetrius said he's not a player. He is just confident and knows what he wants. And he doesn't understand why that would be perceived as him being a player. Tina feels that she was on guard when she met Demetrius, and that's why she called him a player in that moment. She didn't know what to expect, and she admitted that she shouldn't have come at him in the way that she did, which I thought was nice because, like, it takes nothing to apologize to somebody, but I wish Demetrius would have then had the maturity to apologize to Precious, because he definitely did keep calling her a party girl with no real merit behind it. So Sabrina said that she was attracted to Demetrius because he checks off a lot of the things on his list. They did not reconnect after the process. They have no intentions on reconnecting after, going forward. Demetrius said that he still has some questions, some comments that he kind of wants to discuss with Sabrina, but he doesn't feel like a conversation of like a closure conversation is really necessary. He has to he's a person that he feels everybody should move like him. He said that he's a very upfront, direct person, so he expects everyone that he deals with to be the same way, and sometimes that's just not the case. So he said he is, however, back dating. We then have Paul. Paul talks about how Precious, him and Precious talked, how he talked to her during that conversation when he was in the bottom two. And he was on that, if you can't take a man telling you what it is, like when he was being a complete ass. Precious said that she was hurt as a friend because she would have never, oh my God, excuse me. She was hurt as a friend because she didn't understand why he was talking to her like that. Paul said that from the outside looking in, looking at that conversation, he did come across as an asshole because it was just that snippet. So then it turns into Carmen versus Paul, when Paul said that when people don't say things, people take that as a response. So just talking about Paul, when Carmen said that at that brunch, that Paul said he was not sexually attracted to TaKiyah. He said that Carmen asked him. He didn't say he was. He didn't say he wasn't. Because Carmen is a vindictive person, she took that and ran with that and said, well, he never said he was, so that must mean that he's not attracted to you. So Carmen did admit that she was hurt because he was saying such, nice things about TaKiyah. So that was really why she did say that. TaKiyah said she felt that Carmen was just hurt that Paul was saying all these nice things about her and not necessarily about TaKiyah, but not necessarily about Carmen. So Paul and TaKiyah did go out once after the show. They realized they are better as friends. TaKiyah does now have a boyfriend, and she believes that that is the one for her. Paul claims that he has a PYT. Okay, Paul. Okay. So then we talk Tina. Tina, as we all know, kind of self-eliminated herself from the process. She was done. Tommy asked her if she felt like she bailed out on anyone. Tina said she had to do what was best for her. She was going on dates with men and she didn't really have a real, bond or spark with. And she just had to do what was best for her in that moment. Paul said that if you start something, you should finish it. And I feel like to me that's very telling of how Paul moved through this process. Because Paul saying that if you start the process, you should finish it. To me, that was why he eventually linked up with TaKiyah and tried to pursue her because he wanted to feel like he was finishing the process. So, whatever, Paul. Tina got real hot and heavy and said that Paul wanted her to self-eliminate with him when she first got there because he was not feeling any of the women that he was there with. I believe that as well. So she then said that they were on a phone call with someone on a three-way and they exposed Paul for saying that he wanted to come on the show to sell this book that he was writing. Basically, let me come on, get a bunch of followers, get some fans, so then when I put this book out, it'll work. Paul said that he doesn't, he's not an author, he's not a writer, he just does music. But see, Paul can't keep a straight face. So in the same way that when Carmen was spilling tea about Paul and what he was talking about with TaKiyah, he always looks up and looks super nervous. He did the same thing when it came up to this book where he looks up and, I didn't say that. You're a liar. I think Paul is lying. I wholeheartedly believe Tina in this moment because what would she have to gain by lying? And that's the thing. What would Tina have to gain by lying on Paul in this moment? So then we have Precious. Precious thinks that they took her personality and they wanted her to be in the nightlife rather than just see that, oh, maybe she's just a fun person. She thinks that Demetrius skewed a lot of people's perceptions about her. So that's why I said it was kind of weird that Demetrius was so willing to accept or feel like people are perceiving him as a playboy because different women are interested in him. But Precious seems like somebody that just wants to have fun, and you're making it seem like, oh, she wants to be out in the streets and in the nightlife and all this type of stuff. He perceived her as not having depth because she talked about wanting to have fun on one date. And Precious even pointed that out. We went on literally one bad date, and that was kind of our only interaction. And you took what you wanted from that small snippet, and that's how you perceive me. So Demetrius is trying to say that he didn't do that, and that's what all the guys were thinking, and they're talking over each other. So then Demetrius tells her to like shut up or something because she's talking over him, and he then asks her if she's drunk or high. I thought that was really disrespectful. Even though she was coming in hot and heavy. Let's not act like we don't understand why she's acting the way that she is. Could she been on an upper? Sure. Not saying that she was or wasn't, but if we're having a conversation and I'm mad at the way that you are perceiving me and I'm trying to voice that, and you're trying to gaslight me, the way that Demetrius kind of was trying to make it seem like, she's crazy for thinking this or she's crazy for feeling that way, then yeah. So then she calls him a bitch. And I'm like, well, this is going kind of sideways. So she walks off stage, gives him the finger, calls him a bitch again. Demetrius the sinner. I don't know what's wrong with her. And see, Demetrius is very smug to me. He's attractive, he's handsome, yeah, but I don't care for his personality. The whole he's more stealth and aloof. I don't like bullshit like that. I feel like Joy pointed it out when Joy said that Demetrius was there to stir up shit. I believe it. I wholeheartedly believe it. So as Precious walks off stage, the other women go up to try to like calm her down, but Precious gets in her car and she leaves. So then we get to TaKiyah, and this is where Joy kind of, I feel like, rubbed everybody that watches the show wrong. So they're showing the package of TaKiyah's package of the different guys she's talked to, and they get to the end where they end the package with Clifton saying that she deserves love, but not with me or something like that. And Joy starts laughing, and it's like, why are you laughing like that? And even Clifton kind of looked at her like, okay. So TaKiyah feels that Clifton should have told her it was over before the retreat. I agree with that. I just do. I agree. If you know that you're feeling Joy and you know that you and Joy have this really strong bond, it takes nothing for you to have a conversation going into the retreat. You know, my connection with Joy is still really strong. I'm going to be pursuing Joy. This is how we should, this is how I want to move forward. It took nothing for Clifton to do that. But for whatever reason, he just didn't. TaKiyah said they had a connection and she just would have liked that. She said that she has nothing against him being with Joy or anything like that. Joy just said you had a connection in your mind. Anyone else that, everybody else knew that me and Clifton had a connection, so no explanation needed to be given. And it's kind of like, what the fuck are you talking about? You can have a connection with someone else and it just not be as strong. Like that, like to me, that made absolutely no sense. Joy made a fool of herself because you're doing all of this and you have the man. You're sitting right next to him. Y'all are still together. Joy was out there acting like she lost the dude. Or like maybe, he was super torn because of he was feeling conflicted because of how he handled TaKiyah. Joy looked really, really silly. Really, really silly up there. So now we're at the point where Joy was like, because after I was watching the show and I saw you say how you would take Clifton from me, and I just felt like that was bogus. And so, like, Joy is being real hot and heavy, and it's like, girl, pipe down. Pipe down. So, TaKiyah said that it was taken out of context. Joy said, fuck your context. And then told her, what are you sitting up here crying for, and move the fuck on. And it's like, wow. On one note, I mean, TaKiyah, if you are in a relationship with someone else, you should not be crying over Clifton, or you should not be crying over this interaction. But it's still like, fuck you, Joy, because that was completely ridiculous of you to do. You had no reason to attack TaKiyah like that. Like, it was tacky. It made you look away. And if I was Clifton, I would be looking at her a certain way now. Because why are you talking to this lady like this? Why are you attacking this lady? It almost feels like Joy just wants to be like, yeah, I got the prize. It was weird. It was really, 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 really weird. For Clifton to say, well, it should have been obvious by the way that I was moving, to me, that's a cop-out. Be an adult. Have a conversation. Like, one of the most annoying things to me that an adult can say is, oh, it should have been obvious by my actions. Or you can just be a fucking adult and say, you know what, TaKiyah, I'm feeling joy more. I'm going to continue to pursue this connection. Why would that be so hard to do? Why? Like, I don't understand that. You were able to have that conversation when y'all were sitting on the couch at the retreat. So why couldn't you give her a simple courtesy of calling her beforehand? And it just, fuck you, Joy, girl. Bye. So then we have the Wiley package, and we see everyone that was calling Wiley young, which Wiley felt like was everybody kind of dismissing him. It was like monkey see, monkey do. Once one of the women said that he seemed young, they all felt the need to say that, which is weird because the women were the ones all playing all the games. But okay. So Wiley called out Kina. He said that as soon as she heard his age, she checked out right away. He said, and she was like, well, no, I didn't. I prefer to date older men. So that's meaning that you checked out when you heard his age. Like, education. So he said, which is weird because like you be all up on my Instagram watching all my stories, almost like you're checking for me. She was tongue tied. She was like, I don't be watching your stories, girl. He can see your screen name in the list of viewers. So then she gets kind of like low key embarrassed and was like, well, I'll stop checking. My whole thing is, I see what Wiley was saying. Like, a lot of them did not give him a chance because of his age. And if y'all are going to do that, stand on it. I feel like people should really just be standing in what they are saying, standing in what you were doing. If that's how you felt, that you didn't want to really do too much with Wiley because you prefer an older man, that's literally all you had to say. But let's be real, that is checking out on him because of his age. So Wiley and Tiffany, they went out after the show. Wiley is ready to settle down and start a family of his own. And it seems like Tiffany and Wiley are still kind of exploring the possibility of them having a relationship. So then finally we get to Clifton and Joy. So Clifton said that his connection with Joy has always been intense. They will talk every day for hours. And because the distance is so hard on him, Clifton has been in Mexico every other weekend so that they can still be together. They're talking about having a baby. They want to have a baby by next March. So in order to achieve that, Joy is taking a break from performing. So she's going to be leaving Mexico so that she can come back and, live with Clifton and spend some time. Clifton gets down on one knee. We think he's proposing, but he's giving her a key so that she can move in. Let's not act like Joy probably does not already have a key to his house. But okay, thumbs up, guys. So then we have finally at the end, Donovan is thanking Tommy for the journey, caused Carmen a very pleasant surprise, and that was pretty much the entire reunion. Not much happened. I think after the pressure situation, and this seemed like the big blow up was like the whole Laverne thing. That's really all that happened. This season was not as good, just because it seemed like nobody was like really feeling each other. It seemed more like everybody just wanted to get to the end or just to see how far they could get. But I don't know. It didn't seem like anybody was really into this and really feeling each other. But that was Ready to Love, the reunion part 2. Let me know how you guys felt about it, and I will catch you guys in the next video.